My name is Artem Mikhailov. I am also representative of ISSP company, like my colleague Roman, who had a speech just an hour ago. In general, our company. Do you mind if I take a seat, because I have some notes here, and I would like to use them during the presentation. Thank you. I'm just from Tbilisi. Today morning. I'm actually based in Tbilisi, but I'm Ukrainian. You know that ISSP Georgia, ISSP in general, ISSP company is information system security provider, a service provider, and we cover several territories. One of them is Georgia, and I think it would be interesting to to take a look from the bird fly about the changes, about the governmental changes in terms of cybersecurity, innovations, some initiatives, and so on. ISSP Georgia is actually the only, I guess, professional provider of information security services in this region. We very narrowly collaborate with governmental authorities, which are actually making the regulations, which are providing some governmental services of information security. Locally, now in Georgia, we have developed, I think, more than 30 complex projects in information security, mostly in financial and governmental organizations. So we actually have some experience. And why, from my point of view, it would be interesting to compare, because Georgia actually in sizes, in population, and let's say in political vector, it reminds actually Lithuania from some points here. And it would be interesting how the country which is out of European Union deals with all these problems and issues of information security. So, getting to our topic today, I would like to just have a short overview of governmental authorities establishment in Georgia. Just really a couple of words about regulations and what their influence have done with the real activity of enterprise business, I mean security business, of governmental project, and actually what is the roadmap of and next steps of the government in general. So the first and logical start would be the institutional organization of authorities which are more or less influenced on cybersecurity in general. So in the head of the unit's organization is the State Security and Crisis Management Council. It's actually many countries use this approach, and this is best practice. The council operates directly under the prime minister, of the country, and it actually doesn't do any hands-on, let's say, stuff, hands-on works and tasks. It should just develop general policy of and vectors of development of cybersecurity, and to control the other branches which are located in this drawing under the State Council. So the first, and I would say the major, I guess, player on this governmental market is Data Exchange Agency. This is an agency which is operating under the Ministry of Justice. And it was the first one in Georgia, which was aimed to develop information security and cybersecurity policies. I will tell about this branch a little bit more about the data exchange agencies than about others, but just now to figure out the whole picture. So the second branch is the cybercrime division, which works all around the clock. It is undertaken under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, yes, and it's logically also that investigators from Ministry of Internal Affairs, they investigate cybercrime. very interesting that and right thing was done, that government have made certain changes into the crime code and empowered this this branch with the actually this is the only authority in Georgia which can handle any kind of cybersecurity forensics, cyber attacks forensics. You could note also that actually State Council, the major one, yes, it was established only in 2014. Actually, the same like Cybersecurity Bureau from Ministry of Defense. And now it looks like a complete picture, but eventually it was only Data Exchange Agency, and their activities and their initiatives were to build such hierarchy. So since 2010, I have used to call Data Exchange Agency DEA because this is everybody in Georgia calls it so this way. So since 2010, DEA was the main authority, and they developed information security. I would say it was them who did this. More detail about them. Well, three main functions which should do eventually from the start. DEA was e-government development, and the other stuff is related only to information security and cybersecurity. This is information security development like regulator, like service provider, and also they host the local CERT team, CERT-G. The information security regulation mostly addresses public sector, but this public sector also includes in their terms includes also not just governmentals, but also some huge enterprises which really influence the business, which really influences the social life in Georgia. So they have already done this critical, developed critical infrastructure systems list, where they included the main, not only governmentals, but also enterprises. So 2 of 3 functions are related to information security, and both of them are correspondingly represented on this slide. Information security team, it's in general they is not a profit organization, but they also could make some service to governmentals for free. Some service they can make for money for some fee for enterprises. And actually they are making some general stuff around information security consulting. Regarding the CERT GE, the local CERT team, it's really pretty mature around those CERTs which I know, because they are very, a lot of enthusiastic and very initiative. And moreover, government actually supports all these initiatives. And with combination of these two factors, they develop pretty good. They're making very nice services, which are free for Georgians, which are free for enterprises. They have also Safe DNS, their own. They cooperate with a lot of different vendors and organizations around the world. In first place, of course, is European organizations. By the way, I have the next slide about this. Sorry. So you could get acquainted. Just take a moment to look on the slide. There are not much except Microsoft Symantec, let's say Arbor. Not much very spread names, but very famous. But nevertheless, they provide really nice benefits. So with the help of this vendor, CERT has got its own traffic cleaning service. They have also developed the Georgian Safe DNS, as I said, and they opened it for any organization. We can use it. Anybody could use it. Next is the MIA's cybercrime division. Well, it's easy here. The main driver of this division creation was the function of 24/7 that is required by Budapest Memorandum. Not memorandum, sorry, but Budapest Convention. This is memorandum word from Ukrainian politics. This agency could perform investigation of any kind of cyber crimes, as I said on the first slide, and this is its main task, and that's all. They're pretty good technically supplied. They have good software, good hardware to perform for forensics. So they're trying to improve their skills lately. And the last one from these three branches, this is Cybersecurity Bureau. Well, in regards to this division, it's a brand new organization. It started only 2014, and it's a military one. They do not have much open information about this, and they actually ask not to spread information if there is one. So their main idea is to defend Georgia from information attacks, not only information security, I mean in terms of DDoS, any other APT threats and so on, but they also defending it from propaganda stuff and so on. The main function to build and maintain robust cybersecurity for Georgian defense sector. That's all. That is their motto, and this is the general information which is available for public. And the main one, which covers all and composite from all others, the State Security and Crisis Management Council. This is the management authority which should develop and implement the overall vision of Georgian cyber defense, information security, and they should control actually those tasks which they put to their branches, to Ministry of Internal Affairs, to Ministry of Justice, to Ministry of Defense. About the legislation, mostly a lot of laws and normative acts were undertaken and signed by DEA initially, but now they have some different, how to say, they have changed the model of responsibility, and now the prime branch, for example, for cyber forensics, it should be Ministry of Internal Affairs. For defense, it should be Ministry of Defense, and for information security in government and enterprise, it should be DEA. So they have separated these duties, and they can bring new laws by themselves separately. So main changes, as I said, were started at 2010 when the criminal code was adjusted. This is the first significant change in cyber world, cyber security. In general, we can highlight these 5 local activities which made significant influence on cybersecurity in general on this development. The main among these 5, so this is the first block, I think it should be information security law, because in general this is the main thing which regulates information security in terms of law. So there are different minor additional orders, additional stuff which was signed by President or Prime Minister, some changes into the existing laws, but I didn't put them all on the slide because they do not play a significant role. In general, there are a lot of such stuff which changes at the moment. So what is Georgian information security law? I would tell the next slide. And now the Georgian information security law, it is applied to critical information systems, yes? And according to the law of Georgia on information security, the critical system actually all organizations which could be potentially important in terms of defense and security questions, yes? This list is updated periodically. It's not very often and changes, but it's it is on continuous reviewing all the time. So if government decides that, for example, new huge telecom operator needs to be protected in terms of this law, it could simply add it and obligate this telecom to perform all requirements which are listed here. This is minimum requirements. There are a little bit more also. I have viewed only the main ones. So very nice that in this law it based on ISO, definitely like all other laws which are taken, for example, in Ukraine also, the National Bank of Ukraine have taken the same absolutely thing we just translated the ISO 27K and named it our law in general, yeah. And the same have done Georgians. Sure, there are some notes, some additional clarifications which are maybe more applicable in some different countries, but in general it's still ISO. So very nice that they have rules not only for CISO or just ISM, they have also for cybersecurity specialists like analytic, and in general way they should be separated, this role. This role should be separated, but for now there are a lot of exceptions when at least a single person in organization there is who is responsible for information security issues. So about the law, like I said, it's ISO based. There is also a roadmap plan of implementing this law for short list of for this critical systems infrastructure list. Now we're currently on the second stage when everybody implementing this, and I can say that there are some really successful stories already, but in general it goes not so quick as expected, yeah, because it's pretty hard to get system certified, or at least be look like according to ISO standard in all terms, not just on the paper. So and in these questions the Georgians are trying not to make some bureaucracy, and they try to make real to bring real value of such laws and such obligations. So if they start to implement, they implement it really. There is I want to say some words in comparison of Georgian situation in information security with other countries. And recently I have ran on the network into this interesting dashboard report. This is the report from BCA. There is a link available, you can look at if you would like right now. This is the organization which actually sometimes bring not only information security, maybe other reports. But this report is interesting because it's really brand new and fresh. It was released in 2015, and it covers 27 European Union member countries according to 25 criteria, main criteria, which are like, for example, the strategy of cybersecurity development, the obligations, the regulations, the fines and fees, and so on. So this is something which is more political than technical, but this is something that we're all doing right now, bringing the information security to the same level. There is, of course, there is Lithuania on this report. I just want to bring you this word. I'm sure that you know much more better than any reporters who are making such statistic out of the borders of Lithuania. Yeah, but maybe if these words sounds pretty obvious or pretty right, then the overall report must be more or less clear and right. Yeah. Just take a look on this. Surely Georgia is not a member of European Union, and in this report Georgia is not covered. So we have used just these 25 criteria to bring a short, conduct short research just to compare. So if we take in comparison Lithuania and Georgia, mostly, in most cases, both countries are reasonably first of all, both countries are reasonable to be compared because, like I said, the political vector, the size, the population, more or less from the same scale, at least. In general, Georgia doing pretty good for non-European Union country. They have already implemented a lot of controls and standards, and they are keeping not lagging behind. They are keeping with the general community European. Just want to I have made a special blog here. Yeah, it's regarding what I want to stress once more. Georgia has got qualified legal foundation. That means that they really developing strong laws which are interconnected inside the whole law system. It corresponds to crime law, it corresponds to administrative law, and so on. And if there was a new standard about information security, then they make corresponding changes in other standards and laws. And the second is strong local third group. They are really, you know, these two factors, that they are enthusiastic and the government supports this, was a real nice Kickstarter to start the activity, bring really some benefits. In general, this is all what I would like to tell you today. At least one slide about all the trends we have. We're presenting on Georgian. We presented on Georgian market for 3 or even 4 years, and we actually observed all the situation, all its development. Now there are much more. The overall information security issues awareness is growing indefinitely, and among enterprises, mostly among financials, as always. Financials and telecoms are always first in information security trends, but in general, they have changed, let's say, their minds about information security, like an expenses. They have twisted and switched to investment model. So they understand that this is something which they need to invest to, not to be hacked, not to lose money on information security. ISSP in Georgia offers, actually ISSP Georgia have more or less the same service portfolio like ISSP Ukraine or any other branch. We have our own training center where we trying to increase the level of knowledge of information security professionals in Georgia and Tbilisi and other cities. We are trying to actually bring some awareness to people, to mass, to make security issues be priced as they are pricing. So this is in general what I would like to tell you today. I hope there was something new and interesting for you. If you have any questions, please. No one.
How many people works in the ISSP?
In general, in group, approximately, let's say 50 people.
In different countries?
Yeah. We are a service rating company, and you know we have such an approach that in Ukraine we really have good specialists which can handle a lot of tasks, and they are well, hands-on guys which are making projects in different territories, and they have this hands-on experience, fresh experience. They can accumulate this knowledge by doing projects in Kazakhstan, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Georgia. And they always, you know, going from project to project, and it's very good model to handle and to raise our own specialists, which are actually, I think, for now we already have some representatives whose experience is unique for a huge region. And we like this model because, for example, Georgia, it's not enough big market to raise our own specialists who would, on the same level, deal with these problems. It's much more easier to bring the experienced guy from Ukraine to make consulting, to explain some things, to develop project, and so on.
The question: how is government training new cybersecurity specialists? Do you have some kind of schools, universities, training courses provided by government, not from private?
In general, with the higher education, they have some problems and issues there, because as far as I know, till at least 2014, there were no special faculty or at least specialization of information security officer or manager. There are some lectures on information security topics in IT higher education, but it's not like a separate thing. But the local CERT team and data exchange agency in general, they, for governmental authorities, they make all the time the free courses just to higher their understanding and to bring some new stuff. So they do not invest right now into the new generation, let's say, but they trying to raise the knowledge of those who are already working on the places. And this activity, the second one, the raising of knowledge of employees, it's they're doing this pretty actively. In general, we are now having some collaborative projects about education with DEA, and I hope in second quarter we will make also some nice road show with trainings in Georgia on information security.
But you will have real-time trainings on site, not remotely.
Sure, we have our own 2 trainings room in Tbilisi. We sometimes we perform free also free courses for awareness of some issues, of some problems, free workshops to bring understanding to customers, to just actually any people who would like to attend such trainings. And now collaboratively with Data Exchange Agency, we also will do some new interesting projects in terms of trainings, security trainings. Well, thank you very much. I'm here if you would generate new questions. Thank you.